Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Year of the Full Moon. I think we're on episode, 7 now?
That sounds right.
Anyways,
it deviated off.
We're still on our non-Puppet Master reviews.
It's been way too long since we saw a Puppet Master.
And we're still not going to be done, but for this episode, we just watched Bad Channels. Came out in 1992, and it is Puppet Master adjacent as far as you can go. The reason we're watching this is because a character from Bad Channels appears in Dollman vs. Demonic Toys, and Demonic Toys at one point in time crosses over with Puppet Master. So it's the most far out there, nothing to do with Puppet Master thing imaginable, but we're still going to review it, because why not?
Because, you know.
Anyways, I don't even know where to begin with this review.
This one
is crazy.
Unlike Dollman is science fiction-y too.
It's very action-y.
This one is very purely just science fiction. I know Full Moon does non-horror movies, but I've always associated them with like Demonic Toys, Puppet Master, that type of stuff.
Killjoy, Subspecies,
so,
all that kind of horror.
They probably do predominantly horror, but they do throw some weird stuff in there that's not
anything they can make money off of.
And this was definitely us not having not knowing where to start isn't a bad thing. It's just it was a weird movie, and I liked it. I mean, definitely as far as good movies go, it's not a good movie.
No. But I would say out of the Puppet Master adjacent movies that we're watching, I liked this the most.
I think I had more fun watching it than a lot of... Probably it's up there with some of the Puppet Masters.
Yeah.
Because Demonic Toys for me was and Dollman was it was it was fun to watch, but it really wasn't
we just want to watch Puppet Master.
This one was just weird because it's science fiction, so all the other stuff we're doing in here, besides Dollman, really is horror. So it is a weird kind of deviation. I've said 8 times.
Now, what I will say is, I would say for the first 40 minutes, I just did not care for this movie at all. I was completely checked out. I thought it was like Demonic Toys level. Now, it's clear the budget was higher than Demonic Toys.
Well, one thing I could say, I know we talked about with Demonic Toys, is they had one location. Yep. They literally had one location, and that's where they shot everything. This one, there's multiple locations that they're at, probably a normal level for a movie. So... if that makes already...
It opens up the plot to do different things.
When you're just in a single location pretty much the entire movie, that really kills kind of it's oh, okay. But this one, there's multiple, so it's there's other stuff going on. They went other places. It
didn't make sense what was going on, but things were going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this movie particularly made sense.
No. Do you want to try to, explain the plot?
Yeah, it was so it's one of those stereotypical aliens come down, an alien comes down, invasion type movies. It was definitely didn't you say it was supposed to be kind of a spoof off of that genre?
It was a spoof of just alien movies in general.
Yeah, so I mean...
but it wasn't funny enough to be a spoof.
That's what I was saying when we were watching it.
But it was crazy enough to be a scary movie level spoof of just...
Yeah, it was definitely with a spoof.
They showing
if you're doing a spoof on a genre, it needs to be a funnier movie. That's just my...
But they tried.
That's definitely...
It was ambitious.
It's my opinion, but it did have the ridiculousness that kind of you see in a lot of these, especially 70s, 80s science fiction movies. I'm not talking about B movies from 50s, 60s, early 70s, but I'm talking in the 70s and 80s, you got these kind of weird science fiction movies that usually they didn't have the same B movies are bad, but they're fun to watch. They were a lot of them were really bad, and you could tell this
feels like it.
And they did a good job kind of spoofing it, I thought.
So, in a way, it was pretty successful, just it wasn't as funny as it needed to be.
There were still comedic elements in it, and so the alien comes down. He has a little like magic wand looking thing. He has something
like a plunger kind of.
Yeah, he has like
spore plunger.
It's a humanoid all the way up to here, and then it's got this big thing that looks like a scrotum.
Huge.
They call it in the movie at one point.
Like a turd also.
I think it's supposed to be like a fungus, but he comes down. It was his little magic wand. He could like evaporate you. I don't know.
I guess. Or electrocute you at other times.
Yeah,
either
like,
unconscious or not.
Whatever the plot needed.
Whatever the plot needed, that's what it did.
But he did that. He takes over the
radio station.
Radio station.
At the radio station, there's the DJ is just kind of like a classic DJ, just kind of like gimmicky.
But then the alien comes, and everyone thinks, because this guy's like notorious for causing problems, that they thought this was a Orson Welles War of the World type, like, oh, he's just joking. So everyone thinks he's joking because he's on the air, like there's this big creature alien in here.
He's being held captive by an alien.
And there's like fungus growing on the wall from this guy.
Who also has like a robot sidekick.
Which was really unneeded.
There's a part where the alien and a robot sidekick like fight with each other.
And he just kills them.
You don't know what they're saying because it's just it's just they just explode as a robot. Like, what were they talking about?
Like,
why were they fighting?
It's weird because the alien's trying to get a I'm trying to explain this.
So
like,
what the alien wants to do is to kidnap beautiful women and shrink them and put them in tiny jars.
Never explains why.
Don't know why. He never says a word, but he does it also through
the guy talking. As long as the guy talks on the radio, the guy could see in his viewfinder and find the person.
A girl who's listening to the
radio, I guess, through the radio waves, and then he zaps them it shrinks them into this little jar, and there's 4 of them. So throughout the movie, he's zapping women into these jars, which is hilarious for the first 3.
You're forgetting how it gets to zap. When he locks on a girl, she then experiences, and just her, a like music video from some random band that no one's ever heard of.
It's literally a music video.
I timed one of them in 3.5 minutes. A whole song.
Because what they did with these bands were actual bands that were playing.
Not like big name bands, but
yeah, and they like
real bands. It's cool. That movies normally don't do that. Normally they make up.
It was definitely like, because I was saying this got to be a real band because they'll be doing it, and then it's like, well, this is still going. This is like they just want to get this whole song in there before they. Because you could have, if it were a real band, you could have showed it like 30 seconds of, oh, the band's playing, the girl's dancing, and then show that it's all in her head by her, the only one dancing.
No,
everyone's just like, what the hell are
times.
you doing? And then they get zapped away. And like the bands were pretty good. The first one was like a very hair
metal band.
Hair
like
metal
all
band.
The musicians were girls except the singer was a guy. And
yeah,
that was cool.
It was very like hair metal-y. There was a second one.
Kind of grungy.
Where it was like really grungy.
DMT, I think they're called.
was the second one. I've heard that name before. I don't know.
The best one
was like there's the nurse is actually the one that shows up in the crossover.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
But like
there's a nurse. So it's at a hospital. The nurse gets
and she's getting
listening. She gets
and it's this band called Psychotic Symphony, and they're dressed as like clowns, and it's like a heavy metal thing.
And a cow, and
it was hilarious. Like
nuns. I don't know. I didn't know this band was real.
But I'm so happy I do now.
It's so cool. Psychotic Symphony. It's not spelled the way you think. I have no idea how to spell it, but it is the most insane thing I've seen. I would enjoy just watching that as a music video. This whole like 3.5 minute song.
They made it fun.
I would want to just watch it as a music video. It's crazy.
We finished the movie.
It made me love the movie.
Yeah, we finished the movie. We're like, all we're going to talk about is Psychotic Symphony.
Yeah, that was so cool.
So like I found them. They're on iTunes, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Look them up. That's like if you get anything from Year of the Full Moon, look up Psychotic Symphony.
That's probably one of my favorite parts in any movie so far because it was fun. I like heavy metal, random. So it kind of fits. So maybe if you don't like it, it's not as funny.
It's just to see like what the hell is going on. It
the
sums
thing
up
is,
the movie.
she's
what
dancing
the hell's going
to it,
on.
and she sees like these guys dressed as clowns, a nun, like a cow, and she's just like, oh, I'm dancing. I'm gonna take off my little skimpy nurse outfit and wear some lingerie and dance.
She has lingerie under.
Because women wear sexy lingerie under everything. That's true, right? Don't ruin.
Yeah,
my
don't
dream.
bust our bubble.
Yeah, but it was hilarious. It definitely made my day with the whole like. Still, like I said, I think it's my favorite thing we've seen in a movie so far.
It was the most insane thing, also. So with the movie, it just the whole town thinks that they're like doing.
So like the sheriff has like it surrounded, and he's like, oh, the women are being put in jars here, and they're like, oh, it's a. Well, it's just a weird jump, but like, because other people saw them disappear.
Yeah.
But there's like, oh, he took them hostage. It's like,
how?
Multiple people saw these people disappear.
But
then and there's like a point where like a SWAT team comes up with like a battering ram to get in the door, but they're wearing just black.
And a black beanie.
Black beanie. And I'm like, they look like the typical guys going break into your house. That's not a SWAT
There's only
team.
2 of them, too.
And like, and then they get like something
the
like...
fungus can like melt your skin.
Yeah, and they get that...
growing inside the radio station from this like...
Yeah.
Like turd head alien.
So it like it hits them. And they're like... But no one seems to acknowledge that these men got scalded.
Yeah, no, that's get rid of.
And then it was like immediately, it's like, well, shouldn't those, like the doctor's here, shouldn't the doctor be back at the hospital? This is a little town. You gotta be the only doctor that's working on. But you know, no one cares.
Some other little things is Blue Oyster Cult did like the score.
Which is weird. I wouldn't expect Blue Oyster
that kind of adds like, because pretty much when it's not like the main like Psychotic Symphony, DMT kind of songs, like the score for it is very like rock riffs instead of like typical like string.
So very rock heavy, you know, like disc jockey rock, you know. But from there, you know, it's a typical like alien movie where the guy ends up winning. He finds this spray stuff that could like eat away the
just like germ killer.
It's germ. I wasn't sure. I wasn't paying attention. I guess at that part.
He has like a crate full of it though. Yeah. Somehow a bunch gets inside.
So he uses
the
that
radio station to save everyone.
And then he's like, he does something, and he gets all the. Like, he cuts the thing, and it starts freaking out, the alien, and then it kind of, like, bursts.
The suit kind of explodes.
Explodes, and it's a weird, like, one-headed mouth thing with these other 2 things out here, like, raw.
It looked like a plant, so it was kind of like a rip-off of Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
It was just a low-budget one. But then again, for Full Moon, it looks really cool.
It was animatronic, so I really liked it. You know, if you watched any of these, I like animatronics. And then he gets there's a whole case of that germ killer, and he gets all the ladies out except
one.
Except we find out one didn't get out. So there's 3 ladies, and they all get the germ killer, and they spray it to death, which is hilarious. Just kind of thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous movie. Also, one thing I couldn't get out of my head the entire time is Oscar Isaac, who plays Poe Dameron.
The guy
looks
like
just
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, the main guy in this movie looks just like Oscar Isaac.
Right when he saw him, I'm like, oh my god, that looks like Oscar. And Sean's like, is that Poe? That looks like Poe Dameron. I'm like, that's exactly what I was going to say.
The whole movie, I just pictured him in the role.
Even the personality, I could see this guy.
Yeah, like he had a similar voice to him too. It was weird.
It was weird.
Let's see, the main girl, I don't know her name, the actress, but she's was an actual MTV disc jockey. She wasn't the disc jockey in the movie, she was a reporter, but she is an actual disc jockey.
Yeah, I mean, her acting wasn't great.
Acting was not great in the movie.
Actually, the guy that plays the disc jockey, I thought had the best.
Yeah, there was sometimes it was over the top of it was meant to be that way. There were some bad.
So they win, they get out, and then they figure out that he didn't do this. But then the last shot is just a woman in a jar.
Yeah, the high school girl.
You would have thought that one of them just they would have been like, well,
we should do something about her.
There's not 4 of us here. There's 3 of us. So why did all of them get out and not her? That doesn't.
The movie doesn't make sense. We don't know why the alien's doing what he's doing. He's just doing it. Accept it. Enjoy it. Listen to Psychotic Symphony. Listen to the other cool bands. Blue Oyster Cult. All you need to know.
It was definitely, last thing saying about it, it was definitely a watchable movie. I would suggest it, especially if you like science fiction.
Yeah. By the end,
it plays off of that kind of stereotype from that time period.
I would just say, give it a try. It might not be for you, but if you like rock, if you like
Psychotic Symphony,
and if you like Psychotic Symphony, look it up. Well, I guess that's pretty much all I got to say about Bad Channels. Just tune in 2 weeks, and we release the next episode of Year of the Full Moon. We're going to do Dollman versus Demonic Toys.
Yay!
Then, I promise, we will be back to Puppet Master.
I want to get back to Puppet Master.
Everyone wants us back to Puppet Master.
All one person that's watched it.